All right, don't act like you're not impressed. It's Monday Morning Golf Wrap right here on TGD, and I'm with Hugh Roy III, my hero. Good morning, Hugh.
Good morning, brother.
How are you?
I'm tired.
Oh, God. You're chasing mouse.
Chasing mice, and got a mouse, and kids are here, and it's crazy. So,
well,
been fun, though.
It's that time of the year.
It is. It is.
We're busy. Not just with golf, but we're busy with everything else.
No, it's nonstop.
Well, I tell you what, we got a busy Saturday coming up.
Yeah,
busy,
we do.
Busy.
Yep. That, and Bray and I are playing Friday at True Blue in their little annual Christmas skins game.
Friday?
Yep. So we're going to play there, and then we're playing Saturday with you. So
yeah.
I get to play golf 2 days in a row.
It'll be fun to have Bray out there Saturday.
Yeah. I think my body might go into shock. Play golf
you think
2 days
in a row?
Yeah.
It'll almost be like you're back out on tour
Yeah,
again.
it's been a while. That's for sure. Yep.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I spoke to Jeff Pianelli yesterday out at River's Edge. Of course, we got the holiday scramble coming up Saturday.
So it'll be fun.
And, there was some feelings that maybe, should we have this? No. I called him yesterday to bump up my allotment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm bringing 24 now.
Good gosh.
Okay.
They can't complain about that.
No. There was no complaints. But I called him yesterday. I said, Jeff, sorry, Bo, but I need some more slots. Because I had originally told
you asked for
Boucheroni,
16, right?
I asked for 16.
Yeah.
So I called him yesterday. I said, Jeff, I need some more slots, bud. Can you help me out? Figuring there would be no problem because I don't think they expected anybody to play. He goes, all right, how many you need, George? And I said, well, I need 8 more. I said, I'm bringing 24. He goes, that's it. We're full. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this the Godfather tournament? Are we the only ones playing? He goes, no. He goes, once we released it and you guys talked about it on the air last week, he said all my members called up and said, we want to play this. So he slammed.
Good. Glad to help.
So it'll be a full field.
Yeah. I'll have my cart covered and my heater in the cart.
You better.
Yeah. It's going to be a little
because you're riding with me. Bray's going with
good luck with
whoever
that
our fourth is. Well, he's a young fart. He can go over there.
Yeah, that's true.
You and I, the old fogies, we need to ride in style.
Yeah.
In comfort.
Yeah. I'm
Heather, make sure that could be my Christmas present now. So we're supposed to be a high of 55, I think it is. It's going to be sunny.
Yeah.
So, but it's going to be 55, a little bit of breeze. So it'll be a tad bit chilly.
A little nippy, but it'll be okay.
But we've got some really good players coming with us, Hugh. I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting. Got a couple of e-commerce tour players. Got a web.com tour player. I did have a PGA Tour Canada tour player, but he pulled out on me last night. So, needless to say, I picked a few choice words to call him.
Yeah, well,
night.
That's expected, brother.
Yeah.
That's expected.
One of them, So, it's fine. It's that time of the year.
It is. And, I mean, everybody's trying to get home to their families and all for the holidays, and you can't blame them for that. So.
The Saturday golf group's excited, man. They bowed up for this thing. They're picking their teams, and they're selecting who's the best from the senior tees and who's the best from the white tees and, who's the best putter. And so they're all excited because they know George is just going to show up and play with whoever. I mean, you can see who I got to play with. So,
I get to look at the brake pad all day long.
We'll get to go for last place. How about that?
Yeah.
So, you think so?
Yeah, if we win that thing, those people are going to be hot.
Will they be hot?
They might not be too happy.
Well, hopefully they'll warm up. I mean, we're just helping out. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Again, this Saturday. I call it the Holiday Scramble. It's by Platinum people, East Coast Golf Management, River's Edge. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's $45 if you're not a Platinum card member. If you are a Platinum card member, it's only $35. And you get breakfast, golf, lunch, raffle tickets, drink tickets, a hot dog at the turn. So, and they're giving away like a TV and a golf bag and all kind of. I mean, Jeff was telling me what all they got, and I just said, okay, dude, I'll mention it.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It's my last hoorah before the dreaded holidays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we do what we got to do. Got a few more presents to get, and then.
Yeah, I got to get some today.
we're going to be off and running.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, this was another exciting weekend in the game of golf because, especially in Thailand, Jamie Donaldson ends up winning the event. But more importantly, Lee Westwood needed to finish second because he currently, as of 17 holes into this Sunday round in Thailand, which is their last Asian Tour event before the holiday, he had to finish second to get an Open Championship invite and also an Augusta National invite.
Wow. Put some heat on, why don't you?
How about that?
Yeah.
That was his last chance.
Put some pressure.
And so he comes down to 18. He had a birdie putt. He is, at the time, one shot back of Sorbet, a French player, young kid who played phenomenal. They just couldn't catch Jamie Donaldson.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is second one.
But he had to finish tied for second or second by himself in order to get within the top 50 in the world golf rankings. Jamie Donaldson,
wow,
as the winner, was already there.
Yeah.
But for Lee Westwood, he stands over about a 25-foot birdie putt, just misses it an inch right. It goes past the cup. Oh, he's like, he knew what position he had to finish.
Absolutely.
He needed the birdie to become tied for second place. He was at 18 under par. Sorbet was at 19. Donaldson was at 21.
Okay.
Sorbet's got a 10-footer for par. If he makes, Westwood finishes third.
Yeah. See you.
If he doesn't, because he didn't make the birdie putt. Sorbet stands up over the putt, pushes it an inch right. It misses the cup just outside. He makes tap-in bogey. Westwood finishes tied for second.
Sometimes the golf gods can be kind. Not very often, but sometimes.
He picks up a sizable check to match Sorbet's check, which is the biggest he's ever won on the tour. And, of course, Jamie Donaldson then has his putt. He ends up missing, taps in. He wins the tournament. So for Jamie Donaldson, a great day, a good way to take the break into the holiday. And you could tell for Jamie it was a well-welcomed win.
Yes.
Yeah, he was very excited because basically he led from start to finish. And he came out like gangbusters. So obviously, he looked at the field and, he probably knew that it was either going to be Garcia, who played well. He ended up falling apart a little bit on Saturday. Again, the putter let him down. But, again, he comes back and just basically leads this thing wire to wire. But the whole intrigue of the Westwood thing was what kept me entertained. That I'm sitting here going, okay, here's Lee Westwood. I mean, I, folks, personally followed him for 3 holes last year at Augusta National. And because I kind of – you don't realize how big Lee Westwood is until he walks by you. I mean, the dude is like 6'1", 6'2", and he's built like a wall.
He looks like a linebacker.
He does, very much so.
Yeah.
So, I just kind of got into I'd like to see him make it. I'd like to see him make it, and now he has made it. He gets an Open invite. He gets an Augusta National invite, and he finishes with a nice check for the holidays. So congratulations to all them for that event, and it went off like gangbusters. They had a great turnout. The golf course played very well for them, although the winning score was at 21 under par. Donaldson just shot that much better. But talking about shooting better than the rest of the field, then we have the ladies event. The HRH Princess Haya presents trophy, unbelievable. Shan Fang goes out and just
does it again. This girl.
What golf course was she playing compared to everybody else?
It's just like a totally different. It's like somebody's playing a par 3 course, everybody else is playing the regular course. I mean, it's ridiculous the way that she played this week and the scores that she shot. And
Shin ends up winning the event. Now hold on to your hat, folks. If you've been living under a rock for the last day and a half, if you have been under that rock, you don't know this. She wins by 12. 12.
Double digits. That's not a good thing for the rest of the field,
it
folks.
It could have been worse, folks. You actually saw her go into coast mode. I actually witnessed it the last 4 holes.
Just go into prevent and get me done. Yeah.
I mean, 12. But there she was on 18. She's got an approach shot. She's actually grinding. Her and her caddy stood there for actually 3 minutes, and because the wind was doing some funky stuff up at the green, being blocked out by the stands and all that.
Yeah.
And they're in Dubai, so you can get these little wind tunnel, like these little small tornadoes.
Yeah.
But she's grinding over this approach shot, and I'm sitting here going, girl, you're leading by 12. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah. Just pull a club, hit it up there, and
you can
go.
pull it in the pond twice and not even, blink an eye. So, but, I mean, she just goes bogey-free final round of 66. Her target was 20 under for the week. She finishes at 21 under. I mean, it's just, it's amazing. She picks up 3 wins this year, and you just sit and watch her play, Hugh, and every time I see the girls do this, I remember your comments of years past and over this year. Just watch the girls play golf. Any male amateur golfer needs to watch the girls play golf. And you see the type of shots like I would hit, like a 5-iron from 170 or like a 7-iron from 150 or – whatever it may be, and their game's just so much closer to what I play.
Well, everybody likes to watch the regular tour, and I understand that. But you watch the girls, and I mean, you've got them where they're having to hit hybrids, into par 3s or into par 4s, and that's the average golfer's way to play golf. Is that's how they play. They have to hit those, and they don't want to admit to it, but you watch these girls and how precise they are with it. And especially how good their short games become because, I mean, it depends on the golf course and how hard the greens are or whatever. But you're hitting hybrids. It's hard to stop them at points sometimes. And
it is.
And it just will help people understand how to play the game and manage your golf ball. And the girls have gotten to where that's what the average golfer can gain the most knowledge from.
It's interesting to watch them because, again, like you said, multiple club usage from different yardages but you could tell the ones that struggle. I mean, you've got some of those greens in Dubai are deep. I mean, they're quite extensive. I mean, we're talking, there's one green out there that's like 57 yards long. That's a big green.
That's huge. That's a helicopter pad.
That's right, exactly. And you see the girls come up short right because they don't want to mess with a back left pin. And I sit there and go, girl, you were 3 clubs short.
Mm-hmm.
You think you might hit it this far or whatever, but doggone, look how much green you had to the right and bailout area to the right, and you could have went ahead and hit those 3 clubs, those 3 extra clubs. And now I've got a 140-foot putt, Okay, well, you did it.
Oh, exactly. And they, then because they're trying to shoot at the pin, they take less club and try to hit it harder, and then they hit a worse golf shot, And it's like Daddy used to preach when we were growing up. I mean, it wasn't just to me, but it was to all the kids that grew up at Bull Creek. But it was, you always play fat of the green to the flag. Now, he told me, he said, you're just SOL when it comes to a back right pin because you can't hit a cut if you had a knife in your pocket.
Right.
But,
right.
It was – you always – because if you make a mistake, you make it in the middle of the green, you at least get it to pin high, and you're golden. And everybody wants to shoot at pins, and it blows my mind because if you give yourself 15, 20 feet, you've given yourself an opportunity where if you go at the pin, odds are you're going to miss.
Right.
Now you've got a short-sighted, impossible up and down. And so, that's the thing the top girls do very, very well. You watch them, they don't make those kind of mistakes. And I think that's a cool thing. But, again, going back to Dubai, George, I found you a new crush for the year.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Now she doesn't have
the ears perked up.
I'm not sure how good what her status is. I think she got an exemption into this tournament, but she's an American girl, Paige Spiranak.
Oh, Spiranak, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only problem is she can't make a cut.
Well, I understand.
She's brand new to the tour. She's a tweeting sensation. She's all over social media. She has no problems posting selfies.
Yeah.
In all kind of poses and different apparel.
Well, I figured that's right up your alley.
That is.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if she could play, then I'd probably let her on the Godfather bandwagon.
I tell you what, they say she's got a pretty good golf swing, though. I haven't seen her swing.
Well, yeah, she shot 79-75 this last week to miss the cut.
Yeah.
And she actually, in a post-interview, because of all the amount of pictures she posts and things that she posts or whatever, you know, they wanted to interview her as being the queen of tweet.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, she just said, hey, I'm not even sure that this is what I want to do for a living.
Yeah.
So I can't put, you know, I've got a limited number of eggs. I got to make sure I
hear you.
look at.
Well, I just saw it on Facebook. You know, going through Facebook, I saw
that. There's my boy.
Yeah, This things are looking up
All
for
right.
that situation.
Father son.
Yes.
It was fun. 4 teams end up in a playoff.
Actually, was one of the better ones they've had over the past few years, just because of the way it finished, and then
you didn't see Longer and his son in the finals.
Yeah.
You know, it boils down to Lanny Watkins, Team Funk, Team Nelson, and Team Love.
Yeah.
And Fred Funk he's hilarious to watch, dude.
Oh, Pards, he's
so animated.
And such a good guy and just absolutely hysterical. I mean, he is. He walks around almost like a chicken around the golf course the way he walks and carries on. But I tell you what, man can still play golf.
Yeah, well, they come down. Lanny Watkins has got to make about a 6-footer on 18 for birdie to make it into the playoff at 20 under par. He makes it said putt, dead center cut. And so they end up going back to 18 to play a playoff, and that will go as far as it needs to go. What they end up doing is Laney's son ends up ripping a driver. Laney then catches a good hybrid, and they end up front right on the green with a eagle putt. And so do the Loves, and the Nelsons end up coming up a little short. Larry chips up to about 6 feet, so he marks for his birdie. And the Funks, they hit kind of a squirrely approach, had to chip on likewise, and then they had a birdie putt. So really it boiled down to the Loves and to Lanny and his son as far as having that eagle opportunity. And Lanny's son he said, I knew it was 40 feet. I kind of had a feel it was going to break a little right. He said, I just wanted to make sure I put enough speed on it to get it there. And the ball never left the cup.
Yeah.
Never a doubt, never left the cup. It didn't drip in. It went in with exactly the right speed. They make eagle. Now the Loves have an opportunity from about 30 feet. They end up just pushing it a little right. Davis did. And so, ends up the Watkins win.
And I tell you, it's funny because, it never ceases to amaze me. I mean, haven't seen Lanny that animated in a long, long time. But it's just funny
he
how
was in tears, man.
Oh yeah, but he still got his. Dad's still got some game. His little comments and whatnot. And that's one of the people that my dad told me to watch growing up. Said, you want to learn how to win? You watch him, because when he has the lead, he doesn't back down.
Well, Lanny, it's been this is his first official event in 2 years. He's been commentating, of course. He hasn't been back out on the Champions Tour. And so, he was talking about kicking some rust off. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for the energy of his son, and his other son was actually caddying for his son playing.
Yeah.
So he had the whole family there. The wife was in the crowd following him hole by hole by hole. So just a great weekend for him. I was happy to see him win. You had to look at this tournament and say, okay, it's the Longers, and then we'll see if anybody can catch them.
Yeah.
So, but
VJ, VJ and
VJ
Cass,
and Cass. Yeah.
They shoot 59 the first day, and then I watched a little bit yesterday, and I mean you could VJ chipping cross-handed just still blows my mind.
Yeah. He does what he does.
Yes, he does.
And I guarantee you he wouldn't stand over that ball cross-handed with an iron in his hand to chip unless he had hit 4,974,000 balls.
Oh, guarantee
doing it.
Guarantee you.
So,
yep.
I'm curious. I haven't never done this. I'd love to shake VJ's hand.
They're humongous. You think my grips are big?
But I'm just talking about the calluses.
Oh yeah, yeah. But
I mean they've got to be like, he probably has them shaved down every year. They've got to be huge. As many practice balls that he hits.
Yep.
So,
well, he lives on the practice tee down at TPC.
So they end up 4 teams at 20. There's Team Jansen, Team Singh at 19 under, Longer, Lehman at 18 under, Sink, O'Meara at 17 under, Irwin and Faldo at 16 under. Then we go back to the Trevino, Nicholas, Floyd at 15 under, Zeller, Stockton, Strange, and Price end up rounding out the field. Team Price ends up at in last place at 11 under par, shooting 69-64. In this format, folks, if you shoot 69, you're giving away 10 shots to the field. So there's no way you're going to catch up.
It was cool, though, to watch yesterday how the commentators and how the TV folks put the tendencies and the commonality of the fathers and the sons and how they walk, carry clubs, twirl the club, whatever, when they finish. It was pretty cool to see how the mannerisms are pretty similar.
Between the kids and
the dads. Yeah.
Well, it's like when we watched Craig come up and, the Walrus and watching them two walking down and, you'd swear to God they had the same tailor. They sweated from the same areas of their armpits. It was just hilarious watching those two.
Oh, I know.
And they had identical swings. They had identical pre-shot routines, identical follow-throughs. I mean, it was just crazy to watch those two. So, but it's a lot of fun. I always enjoy the event. Like you said, it was a little bit more entertaining this year than in years past. And then, we sat, and frankly, I feel remiss because I didn't get a chance at all to watch the Franklin Templeton shootout.
Yeah.
Did you catch any of this?
No, I didn't. But the Steelers were on, dude.
Well, I know.
You know how my wife is.
I had to work.
Yeah.
So, but Jason Duffner and Brent Snedeker ends up shooting 30 under par. They pick up $385,000 each. Harris English and Matt Kuchar, who I thought would take this thing and just run away with it, they end up at 28 under par. This is the same team that shot 14 under the first round, folks. 14 under par the first round, and then they go 5 under and then 9 under, compared to Duffner and Snedeker, who goes 11 under, 8 under, 11 under. So, I mean, those numbers are hard to beat. So, congrats to Duffner and Snedeker for getting this win. It may be the closest thing to a win that they get all of this year on the PGA Tour.
I'm not going to go there, George. I think you just stepped across the boundary. You don't need.
I don't think Duffner's got it.
I tell you what, it looked. I did watch a little bit the other day, and I mean, his golf swing. He's hitting the ball pretty well.
Well, he's hitting it well, yeah. But if it wasn't for Sneds, I mean, you could see Sneds giving him the line, talking about speed. I mean, Sneds kept him in this game on those greens.
Yeah. Well,
Brent Snedeker with his little pop stroke, I mean, although we didn't see him have too good of a year this year, but, I mean, the boy can putt.
Oh,
the
yes.
boy can putt. He can read a green. He can putt. And if that little pop stroke is working, nobody can beat him. He's just got to strike the ball to stay up with the young guns. Mm-hmm. So, but congrats to them. They pulled it off because I really thought this was English and Kuchar's thing. I mean, they get along, which is kind of strange because English being a Georgia Bulldog and Kuchar being a Tech.
Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, but they gel well. You could tell that Harris English makes it a point. He's always looked up to Cooch. He's kind of followed Cooch's career. And, just for them two, they mesh extremely well. Extremely well. So, end up in third place, Daniel Berger and Charlie Hoffman. Charlie continues his good play. And then Billy Horschel and Hunter Mahan, which was kind of a surprise for me because I mean, at one point in time, Hugh, they were right there at the top of the leaderboard, and I didn't see these two, kind of meshing that well.
I'm surprised, with J.B. Holmes and Patrick Reed finishing 12th, finishing in last place.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
It's almost, you look at what they shot yesterday at 2 under par, and you think, well, these guys just must have thrown in the towel.
Yeah, it almost seems that way, doesn't
because I tell you, I would have thought that would have been a really good team in this.
I mean, JB just himself wakes up competitively. So, was it Reed dragging him back or what? I mean, we could get into all that.
Oh, yeah, but I don't know. But I just surprised to see that. And, then, you look up.
I mean, when Charles Howell III and Rory Sabatini beat you by a couple of shots.
Or Sean O'Hare and Mike Weir.
Or Sean O'Hare and Mike Weir.
I mean, Mike Weir, I've known Mike a long, long time, and he hasn't played well in a long time. And, he's in this, and for him and Sean O'Hare to go out and they finished tied for 7th with Goosen and Danny Lee, and they just absolutely annihilate, J.B. Holmes.
And, another pairing that surprised me, Hugh, in day 2 especially, because day 1 they shoot 13 under par. So, I mean, literally one shot behind the leaders at 13 under was Graham McDowell and Gary Woodland.
Yeah.
And then when they get into the alternate shot, they fell apart.
Alternate shot's difficult. If you don't understand it and get it, and I know McDowell has played it in the Ryder Cup and understands it, but Woodland not so much.
Well,
and I mean, there's a lot of pressure involved in alternate shot.
Well, I mean, they went 2 under par in alternate shot, but compared to, say, the likes of Duffner and Snedeker, who shoots 8 under.
And Goosen and Lee shoot even par.
Yeah.
So, it's not easy. I mean, alternate shot, even though it might be modified, it's difficult because the pressure's on you to,
sure.
You take the tee shot, okay, then I've got to hit this iron shot and put it on the green, give us an opportunity. Now the person's got to make the putt. There's no, it's not just you and then your buddy's playing his ball. You're playing his shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, it depends on the individual personality. Obviously, those that get along well, like Duffner and Sneds, they shoot 8 under par. You look at Berger and Hoffman; they shoot 8 under.
Yeah, they shot 8 under.
So, it just depends.
Yeah, and then again, you go back into the formats and all that other stuff. You just kind of see these teams meshing. Like English and Kuchar, for example, they have a rough day on the alternate shot, but in day 3 they go back to 9 under par. So you could just tell they were working. But Duffner and Sneds, evidently, as far as personality-wise, they did extremely well.
I mean, they birdied the last 2 holes to shoot, 11 under par, and they finish up at 30 under for 3 rounds. I mean, that's average of 10 a day. That's stronger than potash.
Strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, strong. So,
absolutely.
Also happening over the weekend, as we said last week, a lot of busy golf this weekend, but you had Q School.
So the web.com, yep, that finished up yesterday. Top 45 got their cards, and, a lot of pressure involved in that. But
Snyder Jans.
I was very surprised that he shot 5 over. I mean, he managed to get his card and finish kind of middle of the pack, but he was right up there.
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden, poof, he's you could just tell the nerves. It started going south, and it was good luck.
Yeah. Well, we see stories like this, and do we have any stories of the guy that had to make the putt on the last hole to get his tour card, or was there any of that this year?
There was, and I can't, for the the life of me, like I said yesterday, I'm flipping back and forth because the Steelers and whatnot. But there was a young man that he made it right on the number, and had about a 12-footer on the last hole and center cut it.
Mm-hmm.
You could just see him. He's like, "Thank you, God."
Mm-hmm.
Just basically fell into tears. But the scores that they shot around that golf course down there in Florida, it was pretty amazing because PGA National is not easy, and they shot some, granted it's only 4 rounds now where it used to be 6, but I mean, you're looking at 20 under par for tour school. That's golfing your ball, and that's Adam Finson. So, he's exempt for the whole year. He doesn't have to worry about reshuffle after the 13 events. And Roberto Diaz from around here got his card back.
Good.
Wesley Bryan from here in South Carolina got his card. He finished up at 6 under par and tied for 9th. So, I mean, Reed Edstrom, young man played at Auburn, been battling for a long time, got his card to try to get his PGA Tour card. Michael Ledzik, a veteran from the Tour, he's back out there. Had to go through Q School and got his card. So, It's not just the young guys in there for the web.com now. I mean,
Sure.
everybody's going back like it's what it should have been years ago, but it is there now. You're getting veterans that are having to go back to the web.com and try to get back to the tour. So very exciting. I mean, you look at the top 45, the number itself, like I said, this golf course is not easy. 2 under par got you your card.
2 under.
Yeah, and 20 wins.
20 wins. Wow.
So that just tells you the pressure and the heat behind all this thing that's on you. You don't sleep at night, and you're trying to get your way back out there.
But it speaks huge in the fact, if it was 7 or 8 that got you your card, I could understand 20. But the broad difference between 2 under and 20 under,
exactly.
That just talks like how the leaders, how well they played.
Yeah.
And their psyche and their intellect and mentality and course management and how they're able to handle themselves. This speaks volumes.
Oh, it does. And I mean, and everybody in the field will get some kind of status on the web.com, but they're not going to be as the top 45 are the ones that get reshuffled and they get to play and they get, first choice it's space available. So,
right.
There's guys that didn't finish in the top 45 that you probably will see go out and win. This happens every year. So we'll just have to wait and watch and see what happens this coming year.
Well, it was a busy weekend, bud, not only for both of us personally, but for the golfing world. Now we're going to see it slow down.
Yes.
We're coming up on the holiday. Of course, we're already seeing the commercials for Hawaii. So that's just right around the corner as we crank back up again. Not the new season, but the new year. And, of course, we're just continuing on in the 15-16 season. So
yes. I'm
excited about it. And remember – January 1, you can't anchor the club anymore. Let's keep that in mind. Okay? It's going to be a lot of fun this Saturday. Come out and join us at River's Edge Golf Club in Charlotte, North Carolina. Join us for the Holiday Scramble. Going to be a lot of fun. The Godfather will be there. HR3 will be there. A lot of fun people, and we're looking forward to having a good time. If you want to harass him, just come up and ask him to sign anything. He'll do it. So not a problem at all. TGD Radio and TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. When visiting the Golf Director, be sure to check out our featured course pages where you'll find up-to-date information about course conditions, specials, and much more. Need help with your next golfing vacation?
Just call Dave.
You can give us a call right here at the studio, 844-464-6531. That's 844-GO-GOLF-1. All of our programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand. To catch up on any show you may have missed, you can click on the radio or the TGD TV tabs in the menu screen at thegolfdirector.com. We're now available on over 1
billion
devices at iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Blueberry, Periscope, Catch.me, and, of course, the Myrtle Beach Golf app. For Hugh Roy III, I'm George Honeycutt, and for Jeff Behind the Glass, I want to thank all of you for joining us on Monday Morning Golf Wrap right here on TGD Radio and TGD TV. Don't go anywhere, though. There's a lot more golf news and information coming up next.